You need to understand some background information to change your subconscious mind. It is about the mechanism of how the experiences you have on a conscious level is imprinted on your mind. Of course, we cannot have a clear division between our consciousness and subconsciousness. But I will proceed to explain to help you understand better. We cannot live our lives making judgments on everything on a conscious level. We already know that this is the reason why we forward something important or already decided to our subconsciousness. We do not consciously control our heartbeats or digestion. To make our brains to process information with more ease, we automate implicitly habituated functions such as driving on a subconscious level. This is the integral program that we have. However, when this program malfunctions, tremendous pain can be caused. OCD is one example of such malfunction. To disable the malfunctioning program, we need to look at the way our experiences on a conscious level is imprinted on our subconsciousness. Information have to be important to get imprinted on our subconsciousness. When an incident or something similar to it that affects our survival and reproduction occurs repeatedly, our brains decide that it is important and imprint it on our subconsciousness. To imprint information, hormones have to be released. Emotions are what is required for the release of such hormones. In other words, when we go through experiences that evoke strong emotional reactions or when we receive repetitive stimuli, our mind programs these information in our subconsciousness with our hormones. It is hard to modify the information once they are imprinted on our subconsciousness. We do not save information that are likely to get modified on our subconsciousness in the first place to prevent inefficiency. This is the reason why only the most necessary or important information get the chance to be imprinted on our subconsciousness. However, as a knife which can save many people's life when it is in the hands of a doctor can become a murder weapon when it is in the hands of a robber, when faulty information are imprinted on our subconscious minds, we tend to suffer a lot. Childhood memories imprinted on your subconsciousness are likely to be still active in your adult life. Such memories have been causing troubles for many people. When we consider the static nature of our subconsciousness, the information that initially get imprinted becomes a very important factor. This is the reason why the faiths you imprinted when you were young are likely to be the most strongly fixed faiths in your life. You are likely to build up your life in a way that proves and rationalizes these psychological narratives you imprinted long time ago. But what if the faiths you imprinted during the course of your life become unfit for your survival? What if you face the situations you cannot apply these faiths? What do you think is going to happen? As such situations would be the ones you wish to avoid the most, you are likely to feel extreme fear and anxiety. You will become a time bomb ready to burst. Due to its nature, your subconsciousness will try to reinforce the imprinted experiences than to modify them using the new experiences. You will feel psychological pain when it fails to do so. Instead of changing its approach, your subconsciousness will try to keep the imprinted experiences and find other ways to evade. Having OCD is like avoiding one's imprinted faiths, not to modify them as they are too strongly fixed. Now I will take a look at how memories are imprinted on your subconscious mind. If a lion walks into the room you and I are in, we will feel fear for sure. However, let's say that it silently went out without attacking us. After the situation is over, our minds will have to connect the lion and the fear we felt and imprint them, right? However, it should be noted that our minds do not simply memorize the incident of the lion walking in. For greater efficiency, our subconsciousness uses the symbolic image of a predator to memorize the lion. Our minds imprint this symbolized lion. This is why we feel fear when we see animals like tigers, wolves or hyenas that resemble the symbolic image of a predator. Like this, our subconscious minds reorganize information in the form of symbolic images and imprint them with our emotions as a tool. Our universe has consisted of information and energy. If we compare information with our thoughts, energy can be our emotions. Based on the framework of information composed of symbols and languages, our minds employ emotions in the forms of energy, vitality, and colors to imprint our experiences. Based on such attributes of human minds, we can start your treatment. Your anxiety is caused by your fear on things that are not happening right now. You are just imagining they are really happening. Your anxiety that has been prompting your OCD is your fear in a modified form. There also must be a symbolic scene in your mind that has been kindling your fear. OCD symptoms are a refugee, the anxiety and fear inside you chose to conceal the truth. For example, let's say that you had an experience of being extremely scared over losing someone you love. Let's say that you could not help but bury that scene deep inside your mind because you were so scared of it. Such events are the things that should never happen to you. But there are no such events on earth that will never happen. There always is a chance, even though very small, of them happening. As you are afraid of that 0.1% chance of bad things happening, you are unable to realize that the chance itself is very small. You start to equate the 0.1% chance with a 100% chance and get overwhelmed by your fear. You get fixated to the information related to the events you've been trying to avoid the most. Ironically, your anxiety over losing someone you love is likely to be the factor that makes it a reality. Just like your worry over not being able to sleep makes you even more sleepless, psychological prohibitions tend to create stronger desires. This is the reason why people develop obsessive thoughts by recollecting symbolic images of the things that should never happen. These images can be the symbolic scenes of them hurting someone they love or making a contact with someone they wish to stay far off. By imagining such scenes, they are punishing themselves to relieve their anxiety. What distresses people the most is not the punishment itself but the uncertainty of when they will get punished. So, to eliminate that uncertainty, human minds try to make the most fearful situations a reality to get punished as soon as possible. Abraham Kaplan once said that, "Give a small boy a hammer, and he will find that everything he encounters needs pounding." This saying can be applied to OCD patients who are only seeing the things they fear the most, the things that are related with the events that should never happen. Our subconscious minds know neither right nor wrong. They only see what they are focusing on. They concentrate on the things they think are important. That's the reason why you cannot help but think of the color blue when I repeatedly tell you not to think of it. Understanding the fact that human minds save information on a subconscious level with symbolic images will help you see your symptoms closer to the truth. Your OCD symptoms are not real. Your OCD is based on symbolic images your subconsciousness created. It is the result of you concentrating too much on falsehood. It is a virtual reality created by yourself to come to terms with the causes of your anxiety, even if they are not true. You need to go through the scenes of the past left inside your mind and contemplate on the reasons why you developed the type of OCD you have. You need to find out the symbolic significance of your OCD and the meanings hidden behind it. It is more efficient to consider your consciousness and subconsciousness separately for your treatment. Also, it is better to acknowledge that you do not have the ability to observe your subconsciousness. You need to consider the fact that the things you believe to be true is caused by the things on another level. Your consciousness and subconsciousness do not share everything. This is the point where you should begin. At the same time, you need to know that your reality is the reflection of your subconsciousness. When the fear of getting bullied on gets imprinted on a child's mind, the child is likely to grow up as an adult who is always afraid of the gaze of other people even though she is not being bullied anymore. She is likely to feel fear over the neutral behaviors of the people around. This is because she is constantly reflecting the factor imprinted on his mind to his reality. Our subconsciousness is like a sunglasses, an output value of a program or a filter that we use to understand our reality. The world we are seeing changes depending on the color of the lenses of the sunglasses we are wearing. At least to you, your worldview is true. However, other people will have hard time understanding you. This is the reason why you have to understand that you need to take off the faulty sunglasses you have been wearing. There is a maze inside your mind. Inside that maze is the prison that you locked yourself in. You need to find out the causes of your fundamental fears. And then, you need to find out the strong and rigid faiths that you've been holding on to protect yourself from such fears. The next is to understand that your OCD is caused by the symbolic images you virtually created at the moment of your failure, to see the defeats caused by your rigid faiths. With this, I will wrap up my explanation on the components of a human mind. From now on, I will introduce the ways to modify and change subconsciousness.